Hello, my name is Richard. I'm one of the trustees from Ducklings, and this is Eleanor.
You've got bunny ears.
I've got bunny ears. Anyway, so today what we thought we'd do is we'd start doing a series of recipes from the book. And today
Cookbook.
The cookbook. This cookbook, which you can buy online now. It's very cheap. It's only £10.
Only £10. Okay.
It's nothing, is it? So this is my recipe, which is sourdough bread. It's on page 38, and that's what we're going to make now. So first of all, we are going to open the recipe.
Yes.
And what we need to do, first of all, is put 800 grams of bread flour in this bowl. So let's switch that on.
Yeah.
Strong white flour, bread flour. Any of those would do. Right, hang on. Press that. Okay, right. Tip this in. Ready? That's where are we at? 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Nearly there. Up. Tip. That's it. Perfect. 800 grams. The next thing we need is some sourdough starter, which you saw us mucking around with at the beginning. Now, sourdough starter is something you can make yourself. If you want to know how to make this, the easiest way to do it, So what we need is this. It's sourdough starter. It's ever so simple to make. The way we did it.
It smells weird though.
It smells weird. And the way I did it is I went onto YouTube, and there's a video on YouTube. If you search out how to make a sourdough bread masterclass by a channel called I Love Cooking Ireland, there's full instructions on that. It's dead easy to make. But basically it's just live yeast. So the next thing we need to do is we need to pour this into here. And we need 320 grams.
Which has flour in.
And to make it cool, I think we just drop it from the height, don't we?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2.
We're gonna run out.
Oh, there we go. 320. Perfect. That's that. Then you just need 10 grams of salt. 10 grams. Be careful. We don't want to over salt it. Otherwise that'd be disgusting. 1. That's it. Perfect. The next thing I need to do is get 460 millilitres of water, which I haven't got because I haven't been prepared. So I've got to go and get some from the tap. Back in 2 seconds flat. If we click our fingers, we'll have some.
What?
Where did that come from?
I didn't know it was actually going to work.
I didn't. How many times have we tried that and it didn't work? Last time, I mean, what turned up last time? It wasn't water.
Last time
it was an alpaca.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
It was a Christmas alpaca.
Right, chuck that in there. Brilliant. Now, the last thing you can do with this bread is
spill all the water on the floor.
Aside from spilling all the water in there, is you can cheat a little bit. I mean, this does take a long time to prove, and then there's a second prove after the first one. So you can cheat a little bit by sticking a little bit of dry yeast in as well, which speeds it up a little bit. So for this one, I'm just going to put just a gram of dried yeast in there as well. That just speeds up a bit. You don't have to do it if you're going to do proper sourdough bread according to the books, but I do cheat a bit because I've got no patience. So after we've done that,
got no patience.
I've got no patience. So anyway, so there we go. We just need to mix that up. Mix.
It looks disgusting.
Faster. And should we just do one of our magic tricks again?
Yeah, but what if something else turns up and this disappears.
Okay, right. Well, let's just do it anyway. Let's see what happens. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2,
2, 3.
Yeah!
Here it is.
What? Let's try again.
No, it's staring at me. Click.
1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
That's much better.
That's much better.
Right, all we need to do now is tip this out onto a surface and knead the dough. So the next thing to do is tip your dough out. Make sure that the bowl is as clean as possible. Now this dough that we're making here, the sourdough, is a particularly sticky dough because it's got a high water content to it. So you'll find when you start working with it, it is very, very, very sticky. But what we're aiming to do is to knead this so we get to a nice smooth consistency. As you can see, the more I'm working that in with the dough, picking up all these bits of flour, you can see it's beginning to stick to my hands. It's pretty, God. But that is the way it's supposed to be. So the way I knead things is I just try and stretch it like that with the palm of my hand, because what you're trying to do is when you mix the ingredients together, you produce gluten, which is the thing that makes the bread nice and stretchy. And you're trying to stretch out those gluten strings so you form like a lattice work within the dough, and then that allows the bubbles to get trapped, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, the dough will rise. So if you find that when you're kneading the dough like this, for example, if you find that the dough is sticking to a surface, I find instead of slow movements like that, if you move quickly like that, move quicker, it tends to, as you can see, it comes loose, comes free of the surface a lot easier. So what you need to do is you need to work this dough for about 10 minutes or so until you get a nice smooth consistency. I'm going to stop here and I'll flip forward 10 minutes and show you how it looks, and then we'll come back in a minute. Cheers. So after about 10 minutes of kneading your dough, it starts to get lovely and smooth, and it gets stretchy, and it completely changes in consistency. If you feel like it's sticking to your hands, you can always use a small amount of olive oil, either straight on your hands or the surface, and you'll find that the dough again becomes easier to work with. And you know you're getting there when the dough's nice and elastic and you can stretch it really nice and thin. You can actually hold it up to a light as well, or a window, and you can see the light through it. Once you've got to that stage, which this is at now, this is looking really, really nice, about ready to go. Basically, all you need to do is put it in for first proof. So back in the bowl, cover it with a bit of cling film, and leave it for about 3 hours. So back in a bit. Right, that's been about 3 hours, and as you can see, it's risen really nicely. So the next thing to do is to separate that into 2 loaves of bread. So if we get that out, you can see it's really, really risen nicely. And it's super sticky. Probably should have put a little bit of this on my hands beforehand. So if you put a bit of olive oil on. Like that. Okay, let's see how much we got. So that comes to 1,580. split that in half. Over there. More. That, I think's about it. Next thing we need to do is when you let your dough rise for the second time to actually make the loaves of bread, I use these things. They're proving baskets. You can get them off the internet, off Amazon, places like that. They're really good. They also create a nice little pattern on the bread. But first of all, to stop the dough from sticking to the proving baskets, you just need to put a little bit of flour on there and a little bit on here. Then we just need to knead the bread once more. I mean, the way I do this is I tend to fold it. You can do it two ways. But basically all you want to do is to knock some of the air out of this so you don't end up with too many huge, great big bubbles of air in there. It distributes the air a little bit more evenly. So I do it like this, fold it, and I fold it again, then I fold it again. And the more times you do this, the stiffer you'll feel the dough becoming. And the benefit of doing that is when the bread rises, it'll rise more like a dome instead of rising flat and becoming like a pancake, which is what we don't want. So that's one. And then one more. And once we've put these in the proving baskets, it's another 3 hours or so to prove. And then once that's done, then we need to preheat the oven to nice hot temperature, about 200, and then put a bit of water in there as well to make sure that the bread rises nicely, and two, when it's in the oven, and two, to make sure it gets that nice crispy crust. So there's the second one. That goes in there. There we go. There's two, ready to go. And we just need to leave those now for another 3 hours. I'll be back in a minute. Cool. And we're back. Right, so the bread has proved and it has risen in the proving bowls, and it's looking good, isn't it? Don't do that. So what we need to do next is we need to turn these out onto a couple of baking trays.
And then put them in the oven.
And then stick them in the oven. Ready? It's number one. And
it's quite flat.
It will rise in the oven.
Yeah.
Number two. Stuck a little bit. Right, so what you want to do before you put these in the oven is you want to score the top of them with a sharp blade. This is to allow them to rise so they don't, otherwise if you don't do it, what will happen is the top will go hard and you won't have a chance to rise in the oven, and you'll end up with a big sort of air pocket just underneath the hard crust.
Okay.
So there we go. So it's a quick movements. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, this is really sharp.
Okay.
2, 3, 4. Okay. So next we put these in a hot oven, about 200 degrees. Put some water in a tray at the bottom of the oven to help them rise and also to get that nice crispy texture. What I do is I usually put them in, I time them for 15 minutes, one above the other, and then I swap them over so you don't end up with one getting cooked more than the other. And then half an hour after they've gone in, they will be
ready to eat.
Ready to eat. So we will be back to eat them.
Our
live.
family really likes them.
We love it, don't we? See you in a minute. We're back. And as you can see, the loaves are out and they are looking fantastic. And there it is, basically. That's how you make sourdough bread. All you got to do then is, well, I'll show you.
Eat it.
Is eat it. and what do we put on sourdough bread when we eat it?
Chocolate spread.
And to give you an idea of what it looks like inside, I'll cut one open. You get this lovely, lovely crisp exterior, and inside you get this lovely soft interior. It is absolutely delicious. I make a lot of bread. I bake virtually every day, all sorts. And to me, this is the king of bread. It doesn't get any better than sourdough bread. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. We'll make some more, won't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to make some more. We might even do a Halloween special dressed up, might we?
Yeah, and I'm going to be Harley Quinn.
And I'm going to be... Well, you have to wait and see. So,
Yeah.
like
I
said,
think I know who he's going to be. And he beats him every year.
I'm not going to be him again. Right, so, don't forget, buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. What have you got to
Buy
do?
the book.
Buy the book! and,
Buy the book.
and we'll see you soon. Say bye.
Bye!